Well, welcome to episode 3 of the Strange and Mysterious Podcast. I'm one of your hosts tonight. I'm G.
I'm BR.
I'm McVice.
And welcome. Well, today we're going to talk about a subject that's, again, very wide and crazy, and that's cryptids. So one of my favorite cryptids of all time, of course, is Bigfoot. That's kind of like world famous, right? Some say that I have a Bigfoot, but you know what I mean? My feet don't stink. I'm just saying I keep my shit clean. But what are some of y'all's favorite cryptids that you've heard of, like over the, couple of years or whatever?
My favorite is the Mothman, man. Ever since watching that Richard Gere movie, man, it got me intrigued, and I've always found it fascinating.
Yeah, Mothman. I think his arch enemy is what, Spider-Man? No, I'm just joking.
There's actually a connection to that, actually.
There's a connection?
That happened in 1960s when the TV show was happening.
Yeah.
So that's where they started calling it Batman in the beginning, and then they changed it to Mothman because it kind of looked, kind of had that appearance or whatever, like humanoid.
Really? I didn't know that.
So it's funny how you touched on that.
Oh, yeah, no. I was just trying to make a little joke. You know what I do.
Yeah.
Hey, McVice, what's like your favorite cryptid that you grew up with?
I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but I would say Bigfoot. But I've also looked into the Thunderbird. And then some newer cryptids that I came across over the last few years are like Dogman. Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, I've come across some crazy ones, but I'd say I look more into Bigfoot, the Thunderbird, and Dogman.
Yeah, Dogman, man, I think is so crazy. That's one of the ones. Matter of fact, right before I came on the Travel Channel, they were talking about Dogman, right?
Yeah.
And so for people that aren't familiar with Dogman, he's a cryptid that people have seen, especially in the Northeast in Michigan and Wisconsin, right?
Yeah.
But also, anywhere there's a lot of Native Americans. I really think, in my opinion, that Dogman and the Native American, the Skinwalkers, I think they're the same thing. What do y'all think?
You know what? I'm with you on that one, just because I've come across interviews about Dogman encounters from, ex-military personnel who supposedly went out to go hunt it down and shit like that. And supposedly, like with Dogman, it has a very, like, it can smell you, it can sense your fears, and like it almost has more of a demonic air to it than like Bigfoot,
Definitely. That's what that program was saying that I was watching, that some believe that Dogman is actually a demonic entity.
Yeah.
Right? And this guy that was in Michigan, he has kind of footprints to prove that this cryptid is real, right? And so when people hear about this stuff, they're like, that's a bunch of bullshit. A 7-foot wolf-like creature with orange glowing eyes. That's impossible, right? But there's evidence, and that's what makes these cryptids, so interesting. If there were a bunch of bullshit, there wouldn't be evidence, right?
Sure.
So, it's very interesting. BR, had you ever heard of the Dogman before?
No, man, but I have. I'm not too familiar, but I did hear they compared it to like skinwalkers and stuff. I did hear about it.
One of the things that makes it very interesting to me is that whenever they see this creature, right, it actually avoids detection with the camera, right? And one of the ways that it does is this black mist that it comes up with, right? It has a black mist. And that every time you try to capture the actual animal, it doesn't show up. It's just this black mist. And also, like, if there's a killing that it does, it actually, like, it will actually move it where people can't find it anymore, right? There's this video, or I should say photograph, that this guy had on his farm where his camera that was outside was taking shots, right? Because it activated because of the movement.
Yeah.
And he saw this deer that was dead. And then the second shot, it was moved. There wasn't anything there. right? But it never captured what had actually moved the animal, right? But these are second shots, right? And so I think that's very interesting that an animal that big, that dangerous, could go undetected, around. That to me is nuts.
Coming out as a mailman, man, I wouldn't want that.
Hey, that's
one dog problem right there, man. I better get my main spray that.
Hey, you better get your 45 slug ready for that guy.
No way, dude. I mean, the shit
And your
I've
proton pack.
stuff I found, like you got to kill it with silver bullets and shit like that.
I know, man. But what's crazy is that in Las Vegas, in that area, in the Four Corners area, they're definitely afraid of the skinwalker, but they describe the same types of things, the black mist turning into this huge like wolf, right? Yeah. So you're having similar accounts from the Four Corners area all the way up to Michigan and Wisconsin, where it's constantly seen by these Native American burial grounds. So there's got to be a connection, right?
Oh yeah, man.
Oh yeah, I think so, man. I think so. And like, I don't know, dude. It just seems so with skinwalkers, they are shapeshifters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we've heard of all kinds of skinwalker stories about it looked like this, it looked like that. Maybe they are one and the same. Maybe not. I don't know. But it definitely seems like there's a demonic tie with dogs.
Well, even if it's not a demonic tie, but there's a spiritual aspect of a dimensional tie somewhere, right? For these creatures to come in and out of our reality the way they're doing. And if that's the case, right? What the hell is next, right? That's just one cryptid, right? What other cryptids could be doing this type of,
Wasn't there an X-Men? There was an X-Men like that, the chick or whatever. What was her name? She could change her shape and her appearance or whatever.
I don't remember the X-Men girl. I don't remember.
No, but it's kind of crazy, man. Like you don't know, man. They could shapeshift you like your dog and all kinds of stuff. But man, so let me tell you a little history about the Mothman prophecy, man. It started in 1966, was the first occurrence or whatever.
Yeah.
And so what they say is that the Mothman's linked to like disasters. There was a bridge collapse and 46 people died, and a lot of people saw that creature or whatever before the event happened. Like it warned you basically. If you saw the Mothman, something bad was going to happen.
Basically. And it was in Point Pleasant, Virginia, correct?
Yep, Point Pleasant, Virginia, man. And people started saying that it looked, they're like, man. But a lot of people, like on the other side of the coin, were saying that it could be just like an owl or whatever. But that's one big owl, right?
Yeah, that's a big one. Hey, who is it? Who?
Yeah, man. So I don't know, man. It's crazy, man. And they're saying that it could either be like an alien, an alien, or it lives in a different dimension. It's just we can't see it because it's in a different dimension. But yeah, man, it's just a fascinating. The Mothman. Read that book, man. The movie didn't do it justice, man. It's an interesting book. The Mothman prophecy. First book, and then yeah, man. It's how would I want to go to Point Pleasant?
Right? Hey, stay off the bridges for sure.
Stay off the bridges, man. Stay off the bridges.
But can you imagine seeing something like that where, seeing something flying in the air with a humanoid body? I mean, I couldn't even imagine actually seeing something like that in real life, right?
Exactly. There was an incident too that it was chasing a cop or something one time. It was,
oh my god!
Man, I was like, oh shit, another cop sighting, But
hey, where's Spider-Man when you need him?
Mothman.
Right?
Yeah, that's one Marvel villain right there, right? Is that going to be in the next Avenger movie? Mothman?
Right? Magneto better not recruit him. But
hey, have you guys ever seen that video from YouTube from a few years ago where it's like it almost looked like a witch in Mexico flying around?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right. Bro. that shit was wild, man. Yeah.
Yeah, you could hear it laughing. I was like, oh shit.
The one I saw, it was just straight video footage, like someone who was like, you could tell they were they were close by, I guess, but they just caught it, and you could see it. It was like it definitely was a humanoid figure just flying. It was like, what the fuck, dude? You know?
Oh, the one I was thinking of too was that you could hear the witch in the background, and
that's fucked up.
Yeah, you could hear it in the background too.
Oh shit!
Or maybe I have seen that one too. I've seen a lot of those.
And those have been on the rise also, where they've seen lots of humanoid, people, things, whatever, cryptids, whatever you want to call it, flying around in the air, alien technology, witchcraft, who the hell knows? Maybe it's a blend of the two. Who the hell knows, right?
Hey, they don't save on gas, huh?
Hey, along with Bigfoot, they're going to make the new Monster Squad, apparently, huh?
Yeah, no shit.
That one video of Bigfoot, man, what was it, in the 1970s? That was an incredible video, man. And I think that holds true. Like they were saying, it was very authentic. Like even if somebody tried to get in, it's the video with the Patterson video?
The Patterson video.
Yeah, like they still try to debunk it, like all the critics, and they're like, man, we really can't. Like if somebody was in that suit, that was like a really authentic suit, man. Like coming from the hair, the muscles underneath the hair.
Yeah.
Right? Am I right about that, guys?
Yeah. I've watched a lot of analysis on that. The creature was moving way faster than like a human could. I mean, there are just so many things about it. It's just like, dude, like, just admit it,
Hey, that ain't a gorilla walking around.
No, it's not a gorilla,
My favorite Bigfoot video is the one from Russia. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but they're in the woods in Russia, and this little kid and his dad are walking like in this foggy, daylight day, right? So anyways, they hear this noise, right? So the camera's pointed, and they see this creature jump, right? And his muscles, the back of his muscles, his shoulders, he's swinging his arms, jumping. And you could tell that thing was huge. I don't care who you are, any type of man. There's no way that we have that muscle definition and that height in the forest while it's foggy outside. It's impossible, right? But I'll have to find that footage and share it with you guys because it is awesome. Like when I saw that, it made my jaw drop. Like, I was like, "What?" Right?
Go. Do you have something to say, Nikolai?
I was gonna say there's another really good video from a few years ago where I don't know if it was like in Colorado or something, but the guy was like on some road, and on his backup camera in his truck, he started driving away, and then all of a sudden the Bigfoot started running after him, and he started driving away. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know, I didn't look into it too much to see if like someone had debunked that video or not, but it was still interesting footage,
Yeah.
Another kind of famous one here in New Mexico, there's a couple of them, but one of the most famous ones actually is in Las Cruces. This family that was out around the Las Cruces area, in the desert, and they had their RV.
Yeah.
And they kept hearing things outside of their RV. So they, of course, looked, and sure enough, there was a Bigfoot that was by their RV in Las Cruces, right? So the guy freaked out, starts yelling at the Bigfoot, and the Bigfoot takes off running, and there was actual evidence of the Bigfoot in the desert. So these animals can go, anywhere. Of course, we have the most famous Bigfoot in the mountains, but you have also the swamp ape in the south.
Yeah,
right?
Skunk
ape, right in the south. And then, of course, the most vicious is the Yeti in Russia, right? Yeah. Those things are pretty dangerous. And so it's kind of crazy to see all the different types of Bigfoot, right?
What experts were saying that was a possibility. They were trying to say that, what was that creature? Like, I think it lived about 2 million years ago, and it did stand up pretty high.
Oh, Gigantopithecus.
There you go. So that's another game, man. That thing could still be, you never know, man. Like maybe that thing.
Maybe it's a relative of it. That's what I always thought Bigfoot was, a relative of it.
Yeah, exactly. Like it branched off.
Because what they say is only 10,000 years ago that Gigantopithecus lived.
Oh, yeah,
like that.
I think it's 2 million, but you're right. I think it's closer to like 10,000. Sorry about that.
Yeah, but dude, I mean, like, there's a lot more cryptids out there than just Bigfoot. dog man, the thunderbird. There's shit like the rabbit man, the goat
Tell me
man.
about
There's
the
some
rabbit.
like clown cryptid out there, like that looks like a clown. Dude,
Yep.
there's all kinds of shit. Yeah. Dude, no, there's this one where because I found this from looking at David Politis Missing 411, where people go missing in like the national parks and all this shit. And this one lady caught some footage, and it reminded me of the Predator from the movie The Predator.
Mhm.
Like this thing looked like it was cloaked, but you could see its eyes, and then when it moved,
Yeah.
it was like this transparent being moving through the woods. You know?
Oh man.
Yeah, like bro.
Hey, he's
Like,
an expert level peeping Tom. I'm just saying.
dude, I'm just saying, like, what if these movies really aren't fiction? Like, what if they're just trying to tell us the truth without telling us the truth? You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, who knows, right? Like there are so many cryptids, right? Of course, the famous ones, Bigfoot,
Yeah.
Loch Ness Monster, right? The Mothman. But that just tells you, you know, there's so much that we don't know. You know, sometimes we get a little pompous, right? We're like, oh, we know science. We can do this. We can do that.
Yeah.
But there's other cryptids and other unexplained things that just tell us we don't know anything.